We are looking at section 2.6, ratios, rates, and conversions. Let's look at the solve it. Two Olympic athletes can run the races in the time shown below. Who's the faster runner? How do you know? So, for 800 meters, it takes this runner 116 seconds. A 1500 meter race, the runner takes 338 seconds. So how do you know which one's faster? He runs shorter at a shorter time. He runs a longer distance in a longer time. But how can you compare them to see who's actually faster? Alright, so let's look at problem 1. We're comparing unit rates. And unit rates is when the denominator is 1 unit. Alright, so you are shopping for t-shirts. Which store offers the best deal? So, store A, $25 for 2 shirts. Store B is $45 for 4 shirts. Store C is $30 for 3 shirts. So, the way to do is compare the unit rates. So, if store A is $25 for 2 shirts, that means I want to know the price for 1 shirt. So, how do I get from 2 to 1? I divide by 2. And when I do the bottom, I gotta do the top. So, 25 divided by 2 is $12.50. So, store A is $12.50 for 1 shirt. Let's look at B. B is $45 for 4 shirts. So, I want to know the price of 1 shirt. So, how do I get from 4 to 1? Divide by 4. So, remember, I do the top, I do the bottom, I do the top. So, 45 divided by 4 is $11.25. So, store B sells $11.25 for 1 shirt. So, this one's cheaper than store A. So, let's see about store C. Store C is $30 for 3 shirts. I want to know the price of 1 shirt. So, 3 divided by what gives me 1? Divide by 3. I do the bottom, I do the top. So 30 divided by 3 is $10. So, which one's the cheapest? C. C is $10 per shirt. So, we compared the unit rates. That's what we did. That's when the denominator is 1. So, why don't you try to got it? Alright. So, problem 2. What is the given amount converted to the given amount converted to the given units? So, 330 minutes. I want to know how many hours that is. So first we need to know the conversion. How many minutes are in an hour? 60 minutes per 1 hour. So let's look at this. If I'm doing 330 minutes over 1, and I want to know my hours, that means I'm going to have 1 hour over 60 minutes. And you'll see why in a second. I want my minutes to cancel out. So minutes to minutes. So therefore I'm left with 330 divided by 60. So 330 divided by 60 is 5.5 hours. And that makes sense because your minutes, your hours, when you convert from minutes to hours, should be fewer. Because there are more minutes in an hour, so minutes is a smaller unit. So there should be, hours is a bigger unit, so it should have a smaller number. So let's try one more. Let's convert let's do C. 5 feet, 3 inches into inches. So, how many inches are there in a foot? 12 inches equals 1 foot. So therefore, let's look at how many inches are in 5 feet. So I'm going to do 5 feet over 1 is, so I'm going to put 12 inches on top and 1 foot on the bottom. So for my feet cancel out, I'll put 60 inches over 1. So 5 feet equals 60 inches. Alright, and so I also have the 3 inches there, so I got to do 60 inches plus 3 inches. It's going to be 63 inches. So that's what 5 feet, 3 inches is converted to in inches. So why don't you try the God over here. Alright, problem 3. The CN Tower in Toronto, Canada is about 1815 feet tall. 1815 feet tall. Now, how many meters tall is the tower? Use the fact that 1 meter is approximately 3.28 feet. Alright, so if it's 1,815 feet tall, and we want to convert it to meters, I'm going to have to do my conversion again. I'm going to put my feet on the bottom because I want that to cancel out. I'm going to put my meters on top. So therefore my feet cancel out, and I'm left with 1,815 over 3.28 meters. And that is roughly 553 meters. So, why don't you try letter A up here. Alright, problem 4. A student ran the 50-yard dash in 5.8 seconds. At what speed did the student run in miles per hour? Round your answer to the nearest tenth. So, problem 4. The student ran 50 yards in 5.8 seconds. So this is what we want to do. We want to know how many yards are in a mile. So, there are 1,670 yards in 1 mile. And I want to know how many seconds there are in an hour, because I want miles per hour. So, if there are 60 seconds in a minute, and alright, so 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes, there's an hour. So, these two cancel out, and I'm left with 60 times 60, which is 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. You can see that. Alright, so now that we have our conversions, let's look. So 50 yards. So, let's convert the 50 yards first. 1 mile over 1,760 yards. So therefore, my yards cancel out, and I'm left with 50 miles over 5.85 times 1760, which is 10,208. Alright, so now I have seconds. So now I have my miles. I want to convert my hours now. So I have 3,600 seconds over 1 hour. And my seconds cancel out. So now I'm left with 50 times 3,600 is 180,000 miles per 10,208 hours. And when I divide these two, I am left with 17.6 miles per hour. So let me show you. So, this is saying that this person, if he ran 50 yards in 5.8 seconds, that's equivalent to 17.6 miles per hour. First, what we did was we converted our yards to miles. And then once we did that, we converted our seconds to hours. So we did 1 mile divided by 1760 yards, canceled our yards out, and then we were left with this. So then we multiplied this to 3,600 seconds over 1 hour, and we're left with that. And then we rounded it to 17.6 miles per hour. So why don't you try the got it letter A. Focus a little bit.